What's going on, guys? ¿Cómo están? BugaLuis here, and welcome back to another video here on the channel. Today we're gonna talk about the round of 16 of the Champions League, and we're gonna start off by discussing the first match on the fixture, which is Juventus versus Spurs. We're gonna talk about if Spurs have enough to beat Juventus away. We're gonna talk about the current form, a predicted lineup, as well as discussing the players that you need to watch out for in this full 90 minutes of the Champions League. Just like always, guys, please remember to drop us a like, leave us a subscribe, turn on the bell notification icon, and follow us on all other social media to keep up to date. You get the deal, you know the drill, so let's get right to it. So to start off, we're going to talk about the current form of each team coming into this match. Unlike Spurs, Juventus have more of a simple game in the weekend. They played against Fiorentina. They have already won 2-0, I think it was. So it was a very relaxed game for Juventus. They rested some other players. Bernardeschi was a starter, a player which I definitely think won't be starting for Juventus on Tuesday. So it's safe to say that Juventus have been resting some players and try to look forward toward this fixture. Spurs, however, they need to manage more players. Pochettino really needs to be keen on what exact players he wants to play on the North London Derby this Saturday, I think is, and which players to play against Juventus on Tuesday. So he really needs to watch out for the fitness of those players. But safe to say, I think if Tottenham take a more relaxed approach towards Arsenal, suggesting that they're going to face a very difficult match as it's away on the Champions League, I think that we could see perhaps Pochettino trying to affront the first match of Arsenal in a quite more slower way. Moreover, I think that we need to talk about some matches that they played recently which really have an impact on what is going to happen during this one. Spurs come back from a 2-1 win over Manchester United, so it's a huge boost of motivation for the players, and it's definitely a very good start in which Pochettino can talk about and really see how this is going to influence that game, because they already beat a very big club in Manchester United, and Juventus are going to play in a very similar way. They play also very narrow as Manchester United and have the ability to do some really cheeky passing and be very good in defense, so it's going to be very interesting to see what they're going to do. And if I think Pochettino affronts this game similar manner to what he did with United, he's gonna get a good result into it in a way. In the other hand, we have Juventus, and Juventus come back also from a win of 7-0 against Sassuolo on the league, so it's gonna be definitely a very good starting point for Massimiliano Allegri to look at that, because especially there's one player in mind which takes me directly to my second point, which is who are the players that are those we need to watch out for. In this match for Juventus, it has to be Gonzalo Higuian. Gonzalo Higuian is a very good player, but I normally criticize him during the season, but on that match against Sassuolo, he scored a hat-trick, his first ever hat-trick for Juventus. So it's gonna be a very good start, not only for Massimiliano Allegri to set up a team similar to what he did to Sassuolo to try and get the best out of their players, but also to try and create more service for Gonzalo Higuian. People like Dybala, Pjanic are gonna be the real points for Pochettino and the team to try and block, because if those players are gonna be able to deliver assists to Gonzalo Higuian, he's gonna pounce, he's gonna score amazing goals. And similar to Harry Kane, he doesn't miss within inside the box. So they need to be very precise and very accurate on the way they're gonna mark Gonzalo Higuian, because he has a very good movement. Even though he's not the fastest, he knows exactly where to be at the right moment. On the other hand, we can talk about Harry Kane in Spurs, but I'm not gonna do that because we already know how good Harry Kane is. I'm actually gonna talk about one player that not only as fans we need to look at it, but also some as the coach. I think that this player has to be Moussa Dembele. Moussa Dembele is gonna be the player to watch out for in this match, because not only he's a very good player and a good starting pillar for that Spurs team, but also because he's gonna be very influential to try and close down the spaces for people like Matuidi and Khedira. Khedira is definitely going to have Eriksen on his sides, Matuidi may have Dele Alli as well, so Dembele really needs to look out for those players and try to make his work as hard as possible. Someone like Wanyama alongside Dembele will be very good, because it's going to allow Dembele to drift wherever he wants to be and try to roam the midfield looking for a prey. Wanyama can then take up some of the space that he has left behind and be the defensive midfielder sitting in front of the defender. So it's going to be a very good starting point for Pochettino to try and find out the perfect combination of midfielders to try and face off Juventus. Definitely, I think that he shouldn't play Dyer, because Dyer is more of a relaxed and a passive player. Wanyama is much more aggressive and much more physical in his manner of play, so I think that he's going to be a very good matchup, especially when you face other physical players such as Sami Khedira and also Blaise Matuidi. So with that being said, what do I think the both 11s for the two teams are going to be? Well, I gotta say that starting off for Spurs, I think they're gonna go with the once de gala, how we say it in Spanish, like your first best 11. And I think they're going to go with Hugo Lloris in goal. They're going to go for the right with Trippier. Although I think he should go with Serge Aurier. Serge Aurier is much more physical and it's going to allow him to do and penetrate the defense better of Juventus, especially if they're going to play quite narrow. At the center back pairing, I think they're going to go with Jan Vertonghen and also Toby Alderweireld. We could see that Alderweireld against Newport was very, very good, although Newport is like a third division side. But coming now back from an injury, it's good to have him getting some match fitness back together. So I think he's going to start for this match because he's the best defender currently in that Spurs side. In the left back position, it's really a toss. I think that Ben Davies should be starting just because of performances, but Danny Rose could edge him just a little bit because he's going to be able to have that extra attacking minded sort of left back that Pochettino really likes. But I think it wouldn't be the best option, just similar to Serge Aurier. In the center defensive midfield, I already talked about them too, and it's going to be Wanyama and also Dembele. And the midfield, three behind Harry Kane, I think it's going to be Heung-min Son. We're going to talk about Dele Alli in the middle, and then on the right hand side, Christian Eriksen, and up top, I already mentioned it, Harry Kane. In addition to this, there's a player I think on this Spurs side that could make an appearance that could be so influential during this match. I think that player could be Lucas Moura. Lucas Moura, let's remember that he was unregistered with PSG for the group stages, meaning that he's gonna be able to play this match against Juventus. And I gotta say that his pace, his ability to bring in defenders is gonna allow more people like Eriksen and Dele Alli to look for spaces and gaps for Harry Kane. This is going to be especially very important if we're arriving to the latter stages of the game where not too many people have, you know, that stamina that you need to try and cover up for spaces. So if Lucas Moura comes in, he's not going to be able to penetrate the defense for the right position against someone like Alexandro, but also going to be very influential, allowing other people to create play. So that's why I think that Lucas Moura could be the key thing, the key man for Spurs. But like we mentioned already, it's probable that he's not going to play because he still hasn't made his debut, I think. So it's going to be very interesting to see what Pochettino does with Lucas Moura, and even if he's talked into the squad. On the other side of things, we have Juventus, and I gotta say that talking about Juventus is a little bit more difficult to picture how exactly Massimiliano Allegri might try to affront this match and which players he's gonna play and in which formation. I think it's gonna go as follows: something very similar to Spurs in a 4-2-3-1 formation, going with Buffon at goal, with the left hand side Alexandro, Mehdi Benatia, Giorgio Chiellini, and for the right we're gonna have Stefan Lichtsteiner. I definitely think that he's gonna start out with Blaise Matuidi and Sami Khedira in the middle because are very two physical players that are going to allow to create some space and not only going to be able to cover for people like Dembele, Eriksen, and Dele Alli. I think they're going to be very crucial for that. I think in behind the striker he's going to play Pjanic and probably going to play Dybala for the right hand side or for the left and put in Mandzukic with Higuain. I think that Mandzukic is going to be the key here for Juventus as well because he's going to be able to drift to the left how he has been usually playing, but also going to be able to defend back and going to push people like Trippier back into the hold. I think it's going to be very crucial in that. So if Kieran Trippier cannot push forward, definitely the attacks of Spurs are going to be seeming to be diminished. So I think that it's going to be very crucial to Mandzukic to do that. And that's why I think that Massimiliano Allegri is going to opt for a formation similar to what he played last season on the Champions League. So now the final thing, what do I think is going to happen in this match? What's my match prediction? I gotta say that for me, both managers will definitely try to have a very clear mentality to their players and what they need to do. Massimiliano Allegri is going to tell their players, do not concede goals. Because if they concede more than one goal, it's going to be very difficult for them to get back into the tie, especially with Spurs getting some away goals. And on the other hand, Pochettino is going to say, score some goals. That's what they need. Tottenham could afford to get a loss here, but if they get at least one goal, let's say they lose 3-2 or they lose 2-1, I think that's going to be very good for Spurs, because coming back to Wembley is going to be very difficult. I don't know how, but Spurs have actually managed to get very good results at Wembley this season, especially not being their own hometown, their home stadium. It's very impressive and very admirable. So I gotta say that Spurs are looking for the goals. So with that being said, I think that I could see a win from Juventus, especially because of their experience and their ability to play in front of their fans and in such a hostile atmosphere such as Italy. So I think it's going to be very crucial for them to get the win, and I think they're actually going to do that. I think I'm going to predict a 3-2, similar to what I played in FIFA here in the background. I gotta say that I'm not getting influenced by FIFA obviously, but 3-2 could be a very good result. I could see some goals in this match. I definitely think that we're gonna see goals. We're gonna see goals and I think it's gonna be 3-2, and Spurs may get 2 goals, and then Juventus 3-2, and then it's open from there. That's gonna be everything for today, guys. Just like always, remember to drop us a like, leave us a subscribe, turn on the bell notification icon, and follow us on all other social media to keep up to date. Make sure to make this channel a part of your daily routine. I've been your host for the day. See you in the next one. Take care. Ciao.